G'day guys, welcome to the channel, and in this episode it's just a little one picking up on where we left off with that update on the coupe. So what I've been doing here is I've been playing around with this bonnet. Now in that update I just was showing how I had added material on. In the worst case where I had a fairly big gap, I added on a 3.2 arc welding rod, and then where it was more of a finer difference, I just built it up with about 1.5 mil of weld, and so that's been done. I've welded both sides, and I've gone over it with some engineering dye, and then to work out exactly my gap, I thought I'd have a go at making a little tool. Now I think this is going to work okay. It's a 6 mil drill bit, and you can see what I've done there with the grinder. I've just cut in on a 45-degree angle and then sliced sort of half of it away so that I can then put it down in the gap like that and run it up the side. So we'll see how we go with that, and then I'll be able to get the sander and sort of trim it back. This thing in some places is almost exactly 6 mil. I think there it's like, yeah, it is 6 mil there, so I'm not going to have to trim all of it, but we'll go ahead and we'll mark it and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, it's the next day. I've got some primer on this, and as you can see, that gap's looking lovely. So I could fairly honestly say that's pretty much an exact 6 mil gap all the way up. And yeah, so that's working really well. And now I've jumped over on the other side and I've started again. So I really had quite a severe gap at the top here. So I've started again with that 3.2 mil welding rod. And yeah, I've just been using my spacer as I go and just tacking it in and taking my time. If the gap's a little bit less, it doesn't matter because I can obviously trim it off later on. Yeah, so it's sort of varied. I mean, I'm going from my 3.2 mil welding rod, and I've probably left at the beginning a gap of about 3, down to almost nothing here. I'll add another rod in down to here, and at that point I'm not going to need to use the rod anymore. I've only got needing another 1.5 mil, so I'm just going to just go ahead and bump some little tacks all the way down here, down to nothing, and then right at the front again I've got quite an opening which needs fixing up, so just go ahead and jump into that and get that done. So I haven't done any bodywork on this side. Obviously that's just metal in its rough form that's been primed. It is going to need some filler. This bonnet is completely sealed on both sides, so I can't get in there and hold a dolly or anything like that, so pretty much just going to have to make sure that there's no major high spots and then just go ahead and fill it. Alright guys, so I've finished plenishing. I've been punching away with the hammer and punch on the edge of this thing, trying to, when I say punch, I mean like a fat round punch. And just been using that on the edge here, because this is flat bar, this is not like skinned bonnet. This like last 20mm of the bonnet is just 3mm flat bar, so I'm able to sort of like, you know, manipulate it a fair bit. But I've sort of come to the conclusion that what I really need is latches, because this bonnet has no latching system yet, so we just got it sitting on a couple of blocks, you know, a couple of rubber blocks. But I just figured there's no point in me playing around trying to get every single millimetre flush with the guard until I'm able to lock the back end of this thing in its final position. Either that, or I need to sort of like, possibly I could weld it. I could just like weld a couple of temporary bits of steel on the end of it so that it won't, but that's no good because then I can't lift it up and down and work on it. So forget that idea. Yeah. So welcome to another episode of how to waste time and spend money. Yeah, anyway, that's all good. So I mean, I've done pretty much what I need to do with the welder. As you can see, I mean, I've got the gap, you know, fairly much where it needs to be. You know, you've got your 6mm-ish gap. And next step, obviously, put some primer on this just to seal it up. And I think I'll go ahead and try to work out what I'm going to do with the latches. I was thinking I might use like some sort of latch from Jaguar, because Jaguars all have that forward tilt bonnet system. There's a few different models, you know, to choose from, and or a few different systems to choose from in the Jaguar range, but we'll see what I come up with. In the meantime, I'm just going to seal this up. I won't do any body work or anything, because I want to make sure that I have this bonnet in exactly the right position before I do any body work. So yeah, so I think that's about it. If you watched it this far, congratulations, you're awesome, I appreciate you. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.